Have you ever felt like your dog is always watching you? From the kitchen to the bedroom, the sofa to the hallway. Your dog seems to be just a few steps behind at all times. Even when you get up just to pour a glass of water, those eyes immediately lock onto you. At first glance, it might seem like mere habit or curiosity, but the truth runs deeper. Behind every glance and every little step they take to follow you lies an entire world of emotion, instinct, and love. In today's video, we'll explore 11 surprising reasons why your dog constantly checks in with you, from daily routines and ancient protective instincts to a profound emotional bond that even science has begun to acknowledge. You'll see that what seems like random behavior is often a quiet reminder that you are their whole world. Some watchful glances aren't just about curiosity, but their way of saying, "I'm here. I won't leave you." And above all, every time they follow you, it's a silent message of love, a wordless language more enduring than any spoken phrase. Stay until the end, because the final reason may change the way you see your dog forever. And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize that those seemingly unconscious looks are actually a priceless gift you receive every day. Reason. Number 1. Routine and learned behavior. Habits. Shaped by you. Think back to the last time you came home late for dinner. Before you even set your keys down, your dog was already waiting at the door, bright eyes, wagging tail, pacing with concern. You might have thought they must be hungry, but really it's about rhythm, and you are the center of their daily clock. Dogs are creatures of habit. In the wild, routine kept them alive, hunting and resting in sync with the pack. That instinct still lives on. Your 7 a.m. coffee, the jacket you grab at 8, the lamp you turn on each evening. These are more than actions to your dog. They're signals that the world is in order and life is safe. So when your pattern shifts, late meals, a quiet evening, or an off mood, they come to check in. Not just to remind you of the routine, but to reassure themselves everything's okay. Right, but here's the secret. You may have trained this behavior without realizing it. Every time your dog enters the room, you smile, scratch their head, or softly say, "Hey, buddy." To a dog, that's a reward. Over time, those check-ins become a quiet ritual of connection. They look at you asking silently, "Do I matter to you?" And your smile answers, "Of course you do." For many, especially those living alone after children have grown or a partner has passed, these check-ins become like a second heartbeat in the home. A heartbeat that gently reminds you are not alone. Don't underestimate that. While we search for connection out in the world, sometimes the deepest bond is right there at our feet, staring up at us with eyes that never stop looking. So the next time your dog pokes their head into the room only to look at you and walk away, remember, they're not bored. They're saying, "We're still in sync." Right. Reason number 2. Need to play and bond. When a check-in is an invitation. Back to life. Have you ever sat quietly lost in thought when suddenly you feel a small paw rest gently on your hand, or hear the soft clack of an old toy being placed neatly by your feet? At first glance, it seems like nothing more than a playful request. But if you listen closely, you'll realize it's a gentle reminder that you are not alone in this world. For dogs, play isn't just about burning off energy. It's how they keep their bond with you alive. Every ball you throw, every game of tug-of-war, it's a thread weaving two hearts together. When your dog brings you a toy, it's not just asking for fun. It's saying, "Don't disappear into the silence. Come back to me. Be here with me now." Science supports this too. A study in the Journal of Applied Animal Welfare Science found that regular playtime significantly reduces anxiety behaviors in dogs and increases oxytocin, the love hormone, in both dogs and their humans. That means every time you toss a ball, you're healing too. For many middle-aged or older men, especially those who have worked in high-stress environments or experienced loss, a dog becomes an irreplaceable emotional lifeline. Dogs sense when you retreat into silence, and they won't leave you alone in it. A gentle nudge, an expectant look. These are your dog's way of pulling you back to the present, to simple joy. And here's something most people don't realize sometimes: that check-in look is actually a test. When your dog stares at you waiting for a response, it's silently asking, "Are you still here with me? Do you still want to walk this journey together?" A nod, a smile, or even just reaching out to touch their fur, that's all the answer they need. Imagine this to your dog, you are the entire universe. When that universe goes quiet and dark, they will try everything to bring back the light. And their way is simple but powerful. They invite you to play. So the next time your dog brings you a worn-out toy, don't think they just want to mess around. Realize this might be their way of keeping you from drifting too far into silence, their way of protecting the sacred bond between you. Because while this reason may make us smile, the next one touches something deeper, when a check-in is no longer a playful nudge, but a silent cry from a heart afraid of being left behind. Reason number 3. Velcro dog. Syndrome and anxiety. When check-ins come from fear, not affection. Ever feel like your dog is always right behind you? Turn around in the kitchen and there they are. You close the bathroom door and they're waiting patiently, just outside. At night you shift in bed and their nose is already nudging your arm. If this happens constantly, you may be living with a Velcro dog, a pup who sticks to you like glue and won't let you out of sight. At first it seems sweet, like you've got a loyal best friend always by your side. But underneath that closeness, there's often a deeper issue, silent anxiety. This is especially true for dogs that have experienced abandonment or abuse. They've learned a harsh truth: if someone they love disappears, they might never come back. So they develop a defense mechanism, never letting you leave their sight. But even dogs with no traumatic past can become Velcro dogs. Some breeds like Chihuahuas or Cocker Spaniels are naturally more dependent. Others develop anxiety from unstable environments, frequent changes, long absences, or inconsistent routines. For some people like retirees or those living alone, this kind of attachment can feel comforting. But it's also a warning sign your dog might be struggling with an intense fear of being left behind. When they look at you, they're not just asking, "Are you there?" They're pleading, "You won't leave me, will you?" Behaviorists call this separation anxiety, and it can lead to serious symptoms: barking non-stop when you leave, and scratching at doors, chewing, pacing, or even self-harm due to stress. Remember, these check-ins aren't about making you smile. They're your dog's way of calming themselves down. They need to see you, hear you, feel your presence, just to believe they're still safe. And here's the part that hits hardest. For dogs with this anxiety, every glance becomes a silent plea. Please don't leave me alone again. That puts a big responsibility on us. Not to scold or push them away, but to teach them safe independence. Try these steps. Help them get used to short absences, step away then return. Give them a safe space, a bed or corner where they feel secure and protected. And most importantly, always show them that you'll come back. So next time your dog is lying outside the bathroom door or watching your every move, pause for a moment. Don't just think, "Wow, they're clingy." Instead, remember they might be saying, "The only way they know how you're all I have." If this reason felt heavy on your heart, the next one may weigh even more. Because sometimes constant check-ins aren't just emotional, they're a silent cry for help. And recognizing it could save your dog's life. Reason number 4. Health issues. When a check-in is an SOS signal from your dog's body. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night to find your dog standing silently by your bed, eyes locked on you almost as if trying to say something? No toy, no wagging tail, no invitation to play. Just restlessness, sometimes with hesitant steps. This might not be a sign of simple affection. It could be a quiet cry for help. Dogs can't say "I'm in pain" or "I don't feel right." Instead, they express it through behavior. One of the clearest signs is when they seek your presence more often than usual. Signs of aging. According to research from the Dog Aging Project, the risk of developing cognitive dysfunction syndrome, the dog version of Alzheimer's, increases by more than 50% each year as a dog ages. When memory fades and orientation becomes uncertain, the one thing that still feels familiar, the one thing they trust is you. So they check in repeatedly just to make sure their safe anchor hasn't disappeared. Frame dak kiwis azd. Physical pain. A dog with arthritis may hesitate to move, yet still struggles to reach you because it needs to know whether to keep going or stop. A dog with seizures or heart problems may stay close, driven by instinct that says if something happens, only he can save me. Declining senses. As hearing or eyesight starts to fade, check-ins become their compass. They're not tracking you out of anxiety, but out of fear of losing their way. The heartbreaking part. Many dogs can feel illness growing inside them long before we notice anything. When they stare at you barely leaving your side, it may be their only way of saying, "Something's wrong. Please don't leave me alone with this fear." For men who have long leaned on their dogs, retired soldiers, long-haul truckers, widowers, the moment they notice this change often hits hard, because for once, the strong companion has become the one in need of protection. So if your dog suddenly starts checking in more than usual, especially with signs of fatigue, loss of interest, or changes in eating and sleeping habits, don't ignore it. It may be your only window to catch a health issue early and possibly save their life. Think of it this way: you always wanted them by your side when you were weak. Now it's your turn to be their strength. And this is just one part of the picture, because not all check-ins come from illness. Sometimes they're driven by something even more basic: the need to feel safe. When the outside world feels too chaotic, your presence is the one thing that helps your dog feel calm again. Reason. Part 5. Sense of security. When you're their only safe place. Have you noticed how your dog runs to you the moment they hear a strange noise outside or the wind rattles the window? They're not coming to play. They're not asking for food. They're checking to make sure you're still there, because only then does the world feel safe. In the wild, dogs are pack animals, and survival depends on staying close to the leader. Being apart means danger. Being near means protection. Now that they live with humans, you are their pack, and you've become the anchor they rely on to define safety. That's why after a long day at work, when you walk through the door, their eyes don't leave you for a second. It's not just happiness, it's relief that the threat outside has passed. To them, your presence matters more than any wall door or security system. Science backs this up. Behavioral studies have shown that a dog's heart rate drops significantly when they're near their owner. In other words, their peace comes from you, nothing more, nothing less. But here's something even more touching. Sometimes those check-in glances aren't about seeking protection. They're about offering it. They're saying, "You're safe with me." Many retirees or people who live alone notice this deeply. When you sit on the couch exhausted, your dog lies by the door. When you move around the house, they follow every step, not just because they need you, but because they believe you need them too. This is especially true for people who've been through a lot: veterans, long-haul drivers, single parents. For them, the dog isn't just a pet. They're a guardian of warmth, a steady companion who sends a quiet promise with every protective glance: "You are where I feel safe. And I'll be your shield, so you never feel alone." So next time your dog stares at you when you open a window or sticks close on stormy nights, don't see it as clinginess. Understand this: they're simply making sure that you're both still safe inside each other's circle. And once that sense of safety is firmly in place, another instinct awakens: older, stronger, and more primal. Not just the need to be protected, but the deep, unwavering instinct to protect you no matter what. Reason. Part 6. Protective instincts. When a check-in is a silent night, watch. Have you ever seen your dog standing in the doorway, ears perked, eyes alert, like it's guarding someone or something? Or when you move from one room to another, it doesn't just follow, but pauses in a spot where it can keep an eye on both you and the nearest exit. That's not just a habit. That's a deeply ingrained protective instinct passed down through thousands of years of evolution. In the wild, dog's ancestors, wolves survived not by being the strongest, but by staying bonded and protecting their pack. Now that they live with us, that instinct hasn't disappeared. It's simply been redefined: you are their pack. So when your dog checks in with you, it's often to confirm you're safe. Bakifet, a strange noise at the door. They glance at you, waiting for a cue: should I act? A stranger gets too close. Their eyes flick to you, not just to calm themselves, but to make sure you've noticed the potential threat too. Science backs this up. A study published in Animal Cognition found that nearly 50% of dogs will attempt to rescue their owner when they hear a distress call, doing things like scratching at doors or pushing through obstacles. For trained rescue dogs, that number jumps to almost 70%, meaning even without commands, even without training, their first instinct when sensing danger is to protect you. For people who've spent a lifetime protecting others, firefighters, veterans, fathers, this behavior feels deeply familiar, and now they see that same instinct mirrored in their dog's eyes. Each check-in becomes more than just concern. It's a silent vow, I'll keep watch. You don't have to worry, I'm always here. So next time your dog stops at the door scanning outside while stealing a glance at you, remember, they're doing their job, your quiet, loyal sentinel. And when you respond with a look or a nod, you're telling them mission complete. All is safe. But all these reasons, habit bonding, anxiety, health, safety protection, lead to something even deeper. A reason that goes beyond instinct, beyond fear, beyond survival. That reason is unconditional love. Reason. Number 7. Love and companionship. When check-ins are love in motion. At the heart of every reason, whether it's routine play, anxiety, health, or protective instinct, there lies something even deeper: love. Every time your dog follows you from room to room, every watchful glance, every gentle sigh as they curl up at your feet, they all whisper the same thing: you are my whole world. A study from the University of Geneva found that seniors living with dogs aren't just happier, they also maintain better memory and emotional balance. It's scientific proof that the bond you feel isn't just emotional, it's biological. To your dog, you're not just their owner. You are home, family, and the only place they truly trust. And each of their little check-ins is their way of saying, no matter what happens, I choose to be by your side. Now you've learned 7 powerful reasons why your dog keeps checking in. From daily habits and a desire to play, to silent anxieties, subtle health cues, to primal instincts to protect you. And above all, the purest reason of all, unconditional love. So next time you catch those familiar eyes watching you, pause, smile, acknowledge them. Because that moment is more than just behavior. It's a gentle reminder that you are never truly alone. Now I want to hear from you. How does your dog check in with you? Have there been moments when you suddenly realized they understood you and loved you more than you ever expected? Leave your story in the comments. I read everyone. And if this video helped you see your dog with new eyes, don't forget to subscribe. There are so many more beautiful, heartwarming, and surprising things about dogs waiting to be discovered together with us.